Now that we got those distractions out of the way, it's time to tackle this subject. After Burnout Legends released in 2005, Criterion went radio silent for a few years to work on the next Burnout game, the game that will take the series to a whole new level. Some hate it, but some, including me, really enjoy the fun of exploring the large map while taking down other rivals. But Paradise doesn't get that much hate compared to the predecessor. Around 2005, while Criterion is away, EA of UK decide to take the matter onto their hands. Remember, EA were the publisher of Burnout series upon the release of Burnout 3 Takedown, so they can do what they want with the series, even if it means the series will be dead under the hands of Need for Speed. Because of that, EA then decide to make a Burnout game by themselves, and the result is Burnout Dominator, released on March 6, 2007 on PlayStation 2 and PlayStation Portable. Burnout Dominator unfortunately isn't received well by the fans. It is considered the quote-unquote worst entry in the trilogy. But why? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's mention the pros. The gameplay. The gameplay remains mostly the same. You drive like a maniac, hitting out a rival to quick takedown and try to win the race, yada yada yada. You know the drill. Gameplay as a whole still remains as similar, if not the same, with the controls being perfect as usual. Regardless of which direction you are heading, you are still able to get the full control of your car, and most of the mistakes that happen are your own fault. Meanwhile, the Aftertouch and Crash Breaker also make their return from Burnout Revenge, giving you more opportunity to avenge your destroyed machine. EA UK never do anything to mess up the experience. Burnout chain mechanic though returned from Burnout 2. From the looks of it, you just normally fill up the boost meter by performing crazy maneuver to use them. But here's the twist. By filling up the meter, the boost then changes color to signify that you have entered supercharged mode, and from here on, you can continuously boost until it runs out before repeating the whole cycle over and over again. And by performing enough amount of tricks to fill up the chaining meter before the boost itself runs out, you can initiate another round of chaining. That's right, the cycle never ends, just like your life. If you keep on continuing chaining, the multiplier will keep extending larger than you can expect it. Man, lots of chains here. I hope you're not confused. If you're good enough, then you can push for more boundaries. Yup, even more than 100 chains. Is that even possible? Nevertheless, those chains can add to your score to be used to unlocking more content. While it's fun to chain your boosts, it also presents another problem. We'll get back to it later. The physics are a little different going from Burnout Legends right into Dominator. If I went straight into the wall, I don't crash easily compared to the previous games. Like, look at this. I lose control of my car after drifting and are heading for the wall. I try to slow down, but I know the crash is inevitable. As I prepare to feel the pain of my car, wait, I didn't crash? See what I mean? You actually need more effort in order to wreck your car. Obviously, you can still trash them, but here, it feels much more forgiving, unlike Legends, so there's that. Of course, you aren't safe from any walls in front of you. Should you not see them, you can blow yourself up too soon. So don't try to take the risk and bite the task. It's not worth it. Takedowns are now easy to perform. A little squeeze towards the rival into the wall will crash them. A little nudge at the rival will make them lose control and head straight into the wall. Simple yet addicting, but not all are the same. While I was playing through the game, I realized some significant differences. The AI here aren't messing around and always do everything they could to pull away. I'm using as much boost as possible, but it took me a while to get closer. Even so, trying to perform takedown can also be troublesome. When you think you are right there, they seem to use boost to get few inches ahead, causing you to mess up your trajectory. It happens way too often, facing the AI. While they ran out of boost, don't get too excited because they have strong fighting spirits. They will also do their best to take you out, which often happens during your least expected it. They can shun, push, slam without any warning, which can become annoying, knowing that you should be the one that earned the takedown. But then this motherfucker took it away. For sake, there's always aftertouch that'll make them pay for the salvation. Cars are separated into different classes as usual. Progress deeper into the game to unlock the next subsequent series. Each car classes are divided into their respective series that comprises their own set of events. Obviously, it starts off easy, but then becomes too hard and you probably just better off getting bronze. Don't worry, no one will laugh at you because I did the same too. Please don't laugh at me. Each cars have their specific statistics that differ from each other, giving you a variety amount of preferences that will suit you. Majority of the cars are brand new to this game, while the rest returns from previous games, which is a breath of fresh air, and I can see EA UK trying to be creative here. Not only you can unlock those cars by strictly completing enough events, but also the other alternative route you can take. Some events contain specific tasks that you can complete, like performing near miss, drift as much as possible, and finish first place, etc. There are a total of 12 locations with different variations. Fun fact, the PSP version also includes 2 exclusive tracks for the system, so that's the reason I'm playing this one. The tracks here are somewhat of an improvement over Revenge. Despite the brownish graphics appearing here and there, but not as apparent as Revenge. There is more vibrant colors, though not as much as Burnout 3, but still, miles better than this one over here. Each tracks are based off real life locations, which adds another level of uniqueness to the game itself. You can see EA UK try to be original here. Each of them have their own distinctive features that doesn't make the players feel bored staring at them. But that's not just that, the tracks are also riddled with special shortcuts. But here's the twist. Each circuit includes one shortcut that cannot be entered without meeting the requirement. You guessed it, crashing them into the shortcut. You can see them clearly on the map, but trying to bring another rival to hit them is pretty hard. In my opinion, slightly harder than signature takedown. Like, you're going so fast that you cannot hit the area in time, but the reward is that you got advantage because you can chip off some time ahead of your rival, despite still having rubber banding. But still, gotta give credit to EA UK for being innovative. As for the soundtracks, they are good, although still can't compete with my favorite Burnout Legends. Most of the soundtracks motivate you to go beyond the limit to achieve the impossible goal. Those alone are good enough to make you feel better after a horrible long Thursday. But that doesn't include Avril Lavigne. Unpopular opinion, I don't like Avril Lavigne's songs. Every time I heard her songs on radio, I literally have to switch to other station before coming back later. I just don't like it. Then again, I admire Demi Lovato, Ellie Goulding, and Taylor Swift as my favorite female singers, so deal with it. So when I boot out the game for the first time and heard the song, you can pretty much guess that my mood is somewhat ruined. Not only it does not fit well with Burnout, it feels cringy too. I'm sorry, I don't like it. Feel free to hate me because I couldn't care less. And those are the positives of Burnout Dominator. And so far, I really enjoy the game and don't understand why people will hate it. Anyway, I think it's time we get into the fishball and potato of this video. First up, of course, is the lack of crash mode, which is a big problem voiced by majority of the fans, and I understand why. Crash mode is such a fun and addicting feature. Watching your car plowing through the traffic and causing much more damages, more than you can expect, is simply thrilling and never becomes boring. Regardless of what game it is, yes, Crash mode is in Burnout Paradise and it is fun. So going back into Dominator, why the hell did they remove this awesome game mode? Who the hell think this is a good idea? What were they thinking? Seriously, not having Crash mode is like not having pineapple on your pizza. It won't taste well. I am baffled by the fact that they approved this decision, which somewhat ruins the game as a whole, which we'll talk in just a bit. The main problem is padding. Now, padding pretty much exists in most of the games from the past to present days. The main objective is to make the player go a longer route to make the game longer so that the player won't have finished it too quickly. Some did it successfully, some just failed to execute it, and Burnout Dominator falls into the latter. Race, Road Rage, Burning Lab, Grand Prix are still the staple of the series, and like I said in my Burnout Legends video, not the DS version, get out of here, quality over quantity. But then EA UK decided to go the opposite and ask us to do some of the most mundane tasks. What do I mean by that? New to this game are near miss, go near as much cars as possible, maniac, drive like a complete maniac, burnout challenge, try to chain as much burnout as possible, and drifting. Are we playing Need for Speed Underground now? Seriously? Come on, can't you see the problem here? Despite adding brand new mode, it doesn't change anything at all. Instead, all of them overstay their welcome. What I'm trying to say is that all of the modes are elements that already pre-existed in the other entries. You are already performing near misses and drifting so much that you definitely lost count of them. It's part of the experience that makes Burnout 3 at a range the peak of the series. Road rage, drifting, driving like a maniac, those elements alone, when combined together, are the secret recipe towards the succession of the aforementioned games. So it is a no-brainer splitting those modes up to be set as their individual events. Picture this, you are playing with a controller and you are always using the D-pad or the analog stick, but then you are being told to only rely on D-pad. That is what I'm trying to describe with those modes. There's nothing wrong with them, but do we really need them? It's even worse when you are only doing this alone by yourself on the track. No other rivals to compete with you, just yourself. Does this look fun to you? If you ask me, no. As much as I enjoy chaining my burnout, I also notice a problem. While the mechanic itself is pretty fun to say the least, but the execution is a mess. The tracks are too twisty, and for the most part, you will be relying on drifting. And the lack of long straight make burnout chaining much harder. I could be busy chaining as much burnout as possible, but there's always bound to be a corner ahead that messes up your progression. You are using boost, but then the constant corner turning will force you to slow down or you will slam into them. If it's not bad enough, don't forget you can lose the chain should you decide to stop boosting halfway through or crash into anything else. This alone presents a tedious situation as you can't seem to reach the designated target within the time limit. Just look at this. And for the last negative point is the presentation, which feels very lazy. The intro looks identical to Revenge. The main menu, the UI, also look mostly the same. The gameplay and of course the track atmosphere doesn't fare any different. If you ask me, this looks more like a DLC of Revenge that doesn't deserve its own game. And that's all I gotta say with Burnout Dominator. In my opinion, I think it is a solid game. While the game got its negative attributes, it also have its positive ones, and the negative aren't as bad as what you would say that ruins the game. Don't get me wrong, there are flaws obviously, but not bad enough to the point of unplayable. I did enjoy the game while I played it and had some fun with it, most of the time. In the end, I think Burnout Dominator is never a bad game to begin with, but also will never top the likes of Burnout 3 and Revenge. Oh, and also Legends. I highly recommend this if you're a Burnout fan, and judge yourself if you like it or not. And with that out of the way, we came to the end of Burnout Month of Appreciation. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, Burnout 1, 2, 3, Revenge, and Paradise are the most recognizable titles in the series, so covering them would just be pointless. Instead, by turning my attention to Burnout Legends and Dominator, I can give my appreciation to the lesser known titles, for better or worse. Because let's face it, when you have Burnout 3, Revenge, and Paradise, most likely you will never touch the rest of the game. And I feel like it's my job to let people know the existence of these games that I mentioned. Perhaps one day I will get back to the remaining games, but until that day comes, that is all. Goodbye. Happy 20th birthday, Burnout. If you enjoy what you see, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. Comment below your opinion on these videos.